Hi, this is Arek Skuza, and this is Artificial Intelligence and Product Strategy Podcast. Today, I would like to introduce you to 7 layers of Metaverse. It's important to understand that Metaverse is not one single thing. It's actually 7 different layers that need to collaborate, or better said, coexist together to introduce us to the full Metaverse experience. This is why Metaverse creates a lot of opportunities for different type of companies that will actually make each layer happen. So first layer that we need to consider to build a Metaverse and make it happen is infrastructure. Obviously, 5G, 6G, Wi-Fi, cloud, data centers are one of the big parts of it. As we probably know and we experience every day, not every corner of the world can actually leverage, for instance, 5G. 5G is not well populated yet. It needs a lot of infrastructure. We need to be closer to the towers for instance, with 4G, and the latency is also a challenge. In Metaverse world, the latency and speed of the internet needs to be extremely fast. Metaverse has zero tolerance for lagging or content not properly downloaded. Why? Especially because we put those glasses on, or we enter this virtual reality world when everything is constantly surrounding us. So we cannot see a black holes or lagging in the metaverse, because the experience will not be complete. And a great example would be a BMW factory that I mentioned in the first episode, talking about metaverse. For those who didn't have a chance to listen to that, I will just quickly recall that BMW built the digital factories that are a one-to-one copy of the physical factories that BMW has in Germany. The reason they build those digital factories is for simulation. They want to simulate what happened when the supply chain are broken. They want to see what happened when the people don't show up in work. They want to see what happened when the robot will not be there in place or get stuck in some production lines. They want to do that, and that's how they leverage the digital twins, which I also described in the first episode of this podcast, of this season. But to make it happen, we need to have a very fast, reliable, and zero latency internet. Otherwise, those factories will not be able to do their job. Those digital factories, and the simulation cannot be completed. So first layer is infrastructure. Second layer, everything we have on us. What I mean by that is mobile phones, smart watches, smart glasses, wearable devices, hand-mounted displays, gesture, voice, and other things that we are surrounded by and actually enhance our experience. A great examples could be those smart mirrors that are leveraged in a fitness world, but not only. They also use in hospitals for conducting sessions with psychologists when the patient approach the smart mirror and can have a session about his health or a mental health or any other advice or help that particular person requires. So those kind of devices are creating actually a great starting point for Metaverse. By starting points, I understand that they are actually transferring a lot of data. If you own the Apple Watch or any smartwatch, your health patterns like sleep patterns or your heartbeat patterns or the way you conduct your exercise, everything counts in building your metaverse experience. Imagine this. Whenever you sleep and your smartwatch, it's getting a lot, a lot of data about what you're experiencing during a sleep. Then that information uploaded to Metaverse can actually give you a different workout or different psychology session in the Metaverse and through those smart glasses. So this is actually required to merge all this information into one platform and then give you a metaverse experience. So this is actually a layer number 2. Layer number 3, it's decentralization. We know blockchain is actually contributing a lot to decentralized, for instance, and contract signing. Smart contracting is something very huge in blockchain. To buy the property, you don't need to show up and you don't need to sign any papers. You can leverage blockchain and smart contracting, and you will be an owner of that property. But as we know, not everywhere blockchain is introduced, not every car purchase or your next jewelry purchase or your next book purchase is actually going on over the blockchain. Most of the things are centralized. For instance, a bookstore, if they want to sell you a book, you need to show up in a counter, pay for that, and then they will print you a receipt. The same happened with the pump. When you go to the gas station, you buy the gas, and then you actually, if you want to buy the Coke, everything is centralized. The store gives you a receipt, and that's how you pay for that. In the metaverse, everything needs to be decentralized, which means that if you want to buy that book, you don't need to really go to any cashier. You can do it simultaneously on your device and buy it and pay for it, and you don't really care who you paid for and how you paid for that. That happens in the decentralization when, and the blockchain is actually a huge thing that plays a role in that layer. Also, a whole bunch of microservices needs to be developed. Imagine Starbucks. Whenever you enter to the physical Starbucks, you have a one service. It's a coffee or your beverage making process. In the virtual world, McDonald's already developed the way of doing that in different ways, like microservices. You can even click with your fingers and the hamburgers show up on your virtual table in the dining room simultaneously, and you don't need to go anywhere. You don't need to ask anybody about that, because this waiter or that person that helps you to buy that hamburger is just around, because it's just the avatar. So that kind of microservices will be developed, and that will consist of the layer number 3. Layer number 4 is spatial computing. Imagine all this augmented reality or multitasking or 3D engines that need to develop. And the great example is NVIDIA company that they developed a platform where everybody around the world, any creator, any creative person, any engineer can contribute to by building 3D objects. Metaverse requires, and this is a good example, thousands of 3D objects. Everything what we see around us in the physical world, like your lamp, your phone charger, your bed clothing, your closet for your clothes, everything here is naturally created, and we understand those objects. We see them every day, and they are being produced and manufactured by somebody. The same need to happen in Metaverse. To have that closet, to have that charger in your Metaverse world, somebody needs to create that. And those 3D engines like NVIDIA, the one I mentioned, there's a lot of platforms like that need to prepare us for the Metaverse experience. And this is layer number 4. Layer number 5, it's creator economy. All these design tools, asset, markets, e-commerce, and workflows needs to be created and designed as the completely new workflows. For instance, imagine an e-commerce workflow today. You basically sit down in front of the computer or your smartphone or your phone or your TV display, and you start looking for products you want to buy. You might have an idea of what you want to buy, or you try to use the discover options. Either way, you need to find those. Afterwards, you just click buy, you pay with your card or other payment method, and you are waiting for the courier and UPS and other players to bring that item to your house or home or apartment. In the Metaverse world, everything happened instantly. You just enter the store, you go through the virtual shelves, you try those shoes on, everything is virtual. You try that baseball hat on, you see that laundry detergent, and then you, with the blink of the eye, you just order those. And you might even purchase the digital copy of those. And we know that pretty much all these items in the store in the metaverse world can be collectibles. For instance, your next Nike Air Jordan shoes, you need them to wear, but you might need them to store in your virtual closet and wait for their value to increase. That's what is the creator economy. All these workflows need to be redesigned. The same, think about learning the next language. Today, you sit in front of the Zoom or Google Meet or whatever you use, and your English, Spanish, Chinese tutors show up there, and you have a class, and that's how you study a language. In the metaverse world, and that's already happened, MetaQuest offer few very solid applications for studying languages. You just show up with your virtual reality glasses on your head, and that tutor, the avatar, shows up there and have that lesson with you. That's completely different, and that's how we need creator economy, which is layer number 5. Layer number 6 is discovery. Advertising networks, virtual stores, social curation, ratings, avatar, and chatbots need to be completely differently created, need to be discovered, or would better say rediscovered. Today, you sit in front of the computer and you type to the chatbot, and the chatbot answers something. For instance, you want to talk to AT&T or your Verizon representative, or you want to buy a car through the dealership. You just sit down in front of the computer and just start typing. In a metaverse world, you will have that glasses on your head, and you will just start talking to the chatbot, and the chatbot start replying. All of that need to be discovered, and discovery, it's a huge part of metaverse. Imagine those advertising networks. Today we have a flat screens with a lot of back boxes, rectangles, banners that are actually building advertising networks. In the metaverse, it cannot be this way. It will be a different way. For instance, that next Nike shoe that I mentioned will be at the same time the advertising experience, because you see the digital good and then you want to buy it in a physical world. And that's actually happened on Roblox and Fortnite when Air Jordan introduced the first one of the models of the shoes were first introduced through Roblox and Fortnite, and then delivered to the physical stores. And the last level is experience. Games, social, esports, shopping, everything will be different in metaverse world, and it needs to be built together to give us a full metaverse reality. And a great example will be buying a house. If you want to buy a house today, you might see it in a virtual world. You might skip the process of going and see the real house, but then you talk to people over Zoom or you call them, and then they send you a paperwork to be done. All of that will be transferred to metaverse, and this is a huge amount of work that companies are trying to tackle right now. So instead of going, you want to enter the house through your virtual glasses. We can imagine that. But then imagine all the paperwork you need to do, signing a contract, register the ownership, paying taxes, everything right now, you need to go to the specific offices. In metaverse, you will not go there physically. You will just go there through your virtual reality glasses and do the same thing, and it will be legally accepted, which is another part of the experience level. So those were the 7 levels of metaverse that will be that are actually coexisting together to deliver us a complete metaverse experience. All of that 7 layers needs to happen simultaneously to give us an experience of metaverse. Thank you so much for being here with me. This is RX Kuza, our Artificial Strategy and Product Strategy podcast, and I hope we will meet in the next episode. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.